Well, that just happened. How's it going, everyone? Equinox Phoenix here, and today we are going to talk about The Flash, Season 8, Episode 18, titled The Man in the Yellow Tie. That's not ominous at all. Um, episode starts with Barry and Mina running, somewhere. They're running somewhere. Anyway, Mina hits Barry with some lightning, but it does some funky shit. Um, with his organic lightning. Um, and so they're look, it's confusion. Now, Cecile at a bank is at the bank when a break-in happens. Now her powers get a boost, right? They get an upgrade by like a thousand time boost, and now she can see the colors of the emotional spectrum: rage, greed, fear, willpower, hope, compassion, love. 10 points to anyone who gets the reference to what those each refer to. But she uses her powers to flip the emotions of certain people to, and the third dude, he's like, please, no voodoo. I just want to go home, man. No voodoo, no voodoo. Like, cause he's scared. The man's already freaked out, right? Like he's like, wait, shit, this woman took out two of us right now, and she's like 10 feet away. Please don't hurt me, man. I don't want to do this, right? She knocks him out anyway. Now, then the police show up, useless as they are. Art imitates life, I guess. And it's funny, right? Because then she goes to the lab and Chester checks on her vitals and whatnot. And Barry's obviously concerned because of what happened with his speed and whatnot. Anyway, Barry goes to visit Fast Track Labs where he meets a familiar face. He meets one Eobard Thawne, played by Matt Letcher. Leshner. I think it's. I should just look it up. By young Matt. Let's just call him young Matt until I call him. Anyway, so Eobard is without his memories. Um, which is interesting because I clicked on Superman and Lois. Of course I did. Um, Letcher. There's a T. It could still be Lesher. Uh, yeah. Anyway, so now Barry is obviously suspicious. He's like, "What the fuck? Hey, and he's just very ragey right now. Right now, Barry is Barry has incomplete information now. Right, he doesn't know all of the Eobards. As we know from Legends of Tomorrow, there is an Eobard Thawne who is deceased. He was killed. Um, that was saved by the Time Wraiths, placed in a fixed point, and he learned that to do good. Um, but he's dead, right? Like he died to the Robo Legends because the Robo Legends decided to break the timeline instead of that whole entire arc was weird. I mean, it works. Still weird though. Anyway, uh, as soon as Barry's done with this meeting with Mina and at Fast Track and sees Eeyore, he's like, boom, he books it to Lian Yu again. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Um, Now Eobard has no memories of this instance. He's like, I don't know and I don't care, right? He's like, this man's just like, I don't give a flying fuck, right? Now After Barry leaves, Eobard calls out to John. Someone named John. We're like, wait, John. Now in Arrowverse, that could be literally anyone. It could be Steel. It could be our boy Diggle. It turns out it's our boy Diggle. He talks to Eobard and is like, hey, like what the can like I need your help with this. And Eobard's like, yeah, sure. Open it up. And he literally guides him the way he did Barry in season 1 into opening it again. But um but John comes to the realization that he has the perfect life. This man has a loving family, a loving wife. He's pretty much has like everything you could ever want, right? His bills are paid. I gotta go with that. His bills are paid. He's able to travel away from his family for 2 fucking years. Also, this is I know it's gonna be brought up. This is I didn't realize this was in frame until just now. This is a phone mount for when I want to do unboxings and shit. And the white thing is a fleece blanket I got in a giveaway. Anyway, so he's like, no, he rejects it. Whatever's in that box, he rejects it, and very like emotionally, violently so. And Eobard's like, no, you absolute fucking bastard! Ah! Because he thought it was gonna. I guess it was supposed to give him back his speed. But not. Anyway, in a surprise twist, it turns out the block, because Barry learns from Eobard, right? That the block, the thing Mina's using to channel lightning and whatnot for her speed, is made by Eobard Thawne in 200 years. And and so it's channeling uh it's channeling the negative speed force, and so he heads back to Fast Track, and he tries to convince them not to, and he goes off on Eobard, right? This causes Mina to be like, no, leave him alone, um, and to just absorb like all that speed force, negative speed force energy, and Mina goes evil. Oh shit! Knocking both Eobard and Barry out. And when they wake up, we find out Eobard is in love. He's like he explains it, right? Like he doesn't have any memories. All he knew was I'm supposed to be a speedster, blah blah blah. And the only reason she has speed is because I gave it to her to save her life. And Barry realizes, wait, shit. The man I knew would never sacrifice anything for someone else. But you did. Wait, you're not the Eobard I know. It just clicks in Barry's head. This is the Eobard he knows. Now, the question is, which fucking... We all think it's Flashpoint Eobard, right? But Flashpoint Eobard is the one who died in 1914. So that makes no sense. Anyway, but Barry doesn't know this yet. Barry and Team Flash don't know this yet, right? It hasn't been revealed yet. So, in the team up of the century, the Flash and Eobard Thawne, as well as the rest of Team Flash, minus Cecile and Iris, and it's just Chester and Allegra. Right? Caitlin is off with her mother. Cecile is off doing Cecile things. Um, Joe is, I don't know. But anyway, they managed to chase down they managed to figure out that Mina is absorbing speed because the negative speed force doesn't want to let her go, right? So they chase her to a dam in Keystone City, I guess. Where Barry tries to run her out of her speed, and he manages to knock her on her ass. Well, on her side, like more front, and she's like, when she's like face down. Uh, and it's interesting to note. Uh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, she calls down the negative speed force in and of itself. It's weird how her eyes are red, like to show negative speed force channeling, but her lightning is like white and black. I would love an explanation for this in the next two episodes or next season. Who knows? Anyway, when she knocks out the Flash, she completely cancels out his speed, right? She, whammies him with so much negative speed force lightning that he's like speedless, right? And so temporarily speedless, but speedless nonetheless. Um, when she goes to kill Barry as the Flash, Eobard comes up. He's like, "No, I'm not letting you do this." He's like just like this, and he's like, "If you want to kill him, you'll have to kill me first." And he pulls an Iris West. That is the only way I can describe it. And by telling her to come back to him repeatedly, Mina is able to overcome through love, through the power of love, because they are in love with each other. That is a thing we learned in the episode, as you guys have known. I'm pretty sure I mentioned him being in love with Mina. But they are in love with each other, and so through the power of love, right? She manages to overcome the hatred that is the negative speed force. Because the negative speed force is just pure hate and rage. It's literally pure red energy, right? Uh with some tachyon like particles added to it. Um yeah, mix red energy with tachyon particles with a tachyon particle like thing and boom, you have villainous speedsters who are just pure balls of rage. Perfect conduits for the Red Lantern rings, aren't they? Anyway, let's hope we don't get the War of Light. That's oh god, the War of Light is a shit show and a half. Anyway, so they manage to thing, they hug it out. Barry wakes up, he's all good now. So they go back to Fast Track Labs where it's like a look, we might be able to make it. Well, Barry mentions being a lightning rod, right? He mentions that Iris is his lightning rod, and Eobard can be Mina's. Um, I do wonder if Eobard gets speed. Would he? Could that's one of those things, right? Could we get good speedster Eobard Thawne? Hmm. Probably not. I look. I feel like if he gets speed, he might go back to being, crazy Thawne. I'm all good with having a good Eobard Thawne, right? Like that's great. Now, Chester has gotten a message from. I was about to say Brandon. Ray. The actor is Brandon Routh, as we know. So he got a message from Ray Palmer, who mentions that when he spoke to Nate, they met a good Eobard Thawne, who was saved by time wraiths and placed in the fixed point and all that. He explains the whole. It doesn't really explain it. He's just like he mentions it, and he died helping the Legends. So now the working theory is this Thawne, the good guy, is our good guy Thawne from Legends, saved a second time by the time wraiths, and placed without his memories, I guess, into a more or less our present. He was placed here a year ago. At to just live his life, which I'm all for, right? Like the reason I hate having Ibarthon constantly here is because we don't need Evil Speedster on repeat. Like it's boring old hatch shit. That this is like that's some season one shit. We're in season whatever the fuck season number we're in at the time that they decide to bring Eobard back. But if it's a good guy at Thawne, that's a new thing. That's a new thing. So I'm all for it. Let's explore this, right? Um, And so they just decide to like leave. Bygones be bygones. We got a good guy Thawne. Let's go. Barry's got some character development. Let's fucking go. Anyway, Thawne gets a visitor who sounds familiar, but not exactly. Anyway, that visitor is Dion? Question mark. It looks like Dion, but it doesn't exactly sound like Dion. His voice is a little off. I'm guessing it is the negative still force in the form of Dion Owens. He visits Thawne and he's like, "It's time to fulfill your destiny." He calls Thawne the anomaly, the man with no past, etc., etc. Because as we know, Tom Cavanaugh, Eobard has no past, right? Like he literally he does not exist up until the point where he. I think it's like literally up until the. It's weird. He doesn't exist, but he does. It's like he has no past, but he's in the present, which is weird. And obviously, so long as he's alive, he has a future. Um, but anyway, now, uh, I'm missing something. Holy shit, I'm forgetting something. I went on a tangent and I forgot something. Oh, found it. Um, Now two more scenes. Cecile manages to knock out a mugger, a purse snatcher, and her words are, "That's more like it." And I'm just like, Cecile, Cecile, you're gonna freak everybody out. Please make sure you inform the rest of Team Flash. We don't want them worrying about you. They got literally bigger fish to fry. A freaking force of nature is coming for their throat. Like they've got literal bigger fish to fry. Um, and Mark is in Caitlyn's apartment, and he's like, "Look, we can bring Frost back. We don't need the mirror gun." And he shows her a machine, and it's the cryopod thing, and it's just like, wait, bro, what the fuck are you planning? Oh, that's like the last scene. No, I'm terrified. I don't want evil villain Killer Frost. Like that's again, that's some like season 2, season 3 shit. Please let's not. Though, if it brings back our same old Frost, with memories and emotions intact, I can be convinced it's a good thing. It won't take much convincing because I'm pissed as fuck that Frost is dead, but I can be convinced that that's a good thing. You know, if she proves to be regular Frost. Really, I don't like the fact that she died. Like, let's be real, that entire mess could have been written better. They could have, when they injected her with the ice powers again, they could have given her velocity drug, give her speed healing. That theoretically would have saved her. They could have again made it so that the split Ronnie and Deathstorm, and then killed Ronnie, and that's the friend whose funeral we're having. There's a million and one ways they could have done it. They decided against it. Anyway, wow, this is a long ass video. Anyway, tell me what you guys thought of the episode down in the comment section down below. That's gonna be for this video. If you guys haven't already, hit like, hit subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys next time, and as always, stay bright. Seriously, this episode had way too much going on.